Welcome to another edition of the Lesson T presented by Family Golf and Learning Center. I am Jay Randolph Jr., and there is the man who had the vision, who brought it to St. Louis, and we're talking about the outstanding Family Golf and Learning Center, and that is Adam Betz. Adam, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Jay. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. When a lot of people are going to watch this Sunday morning of the U.S. Open, and I want to frame a couple of questions to you right off the bat before we do some instruction questions as it relates to the U.S. Open, because this morning or later today, if somebody's watching, you have a parent-child tournament going on the short course. And you know, it's been hot and going to be hot in St. Louis. There's a difference in walking a short golf course as opposed to 9 or 18 holes, especially for younger or older people. If a grandfather wanted to play with his son or however, his grandson, however he wanted to do it. But you've got a little thing going today.
Yeah, so today we have a parent-child tournament. We're doing scrambles, two-person scrambles with either mom or dad and the child, kind of in place of Father's Day. We didn't want to exclude the mothers, though, so we're including them today, and excited that the kids are going to play with their families and in a little two-person scramble event. We got some closest to the pin contest going on today. But, you know, all of our events that we are trying to create here and that are kind of new, they can be found on our Facebook page or on our website. So keep in touch with all the events that we have going on for the family in those two areas.
And you know, as it being Father's Day, just like yourself, my father got me involved in the game. And I know you play with your dad and your brother and that type of thing. So, you know, it's cool to have the final round of the U.S. Open and Father's Day because, you know, a lot of people, not all obviously, but get started by their father or their mom.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's really, you know, one of the most fun activities that I can share with my father. You know, we've done so on trips, vacation. We've taken golf-specific vacations. And it all started when I was 7 years old. He just introduced me in a junior golf program, probably similar to how you were exposed to the game. And, you know, that's what we love to offer families here at Family Golf is just an opportunity for them to introduce their child to golf. You know what? If that child wants to, you know, aspire to become a high school player one day, great. But, you know, just exposing the game to them and seeing if there's interest. Maybe you can go out and enjoy a parent-child tournament at Family Golf next Father's Day, or maybe you can, you know, have some fun hitting the driving range every now and again. It's just a good way to spend time with your family, and we love providing the opportunity for families to introduce their kids to the game here.
Well, and you know, it's in the name, but it's for a reason. You know, you could have called it the new tree court or the Adam Betz Learning Academy or whatever. But I know that, you know, your concept was a family atmosphere environment, junior golf, which I tried to get Blake on last week. Yeah. He said, man, I got the juniors. I got junior here and junior there. Wow. You know, yeah. I know that's awesome when you see those kids coming out.
Oh, my gosh, every day. When you see a child walk into the shop and they're borrowing a set of junior clubs to go try the driving range for their very first time, it's like, I tell my staff, I'm like, hey guys, this is why we're doing what we're doing as they're walking out the door. You know, it brings me so much joy to bring the game of golf to so many families that maybe otherwise wouldn't have done so. And we're providing them that chance. It's really a lot of fun.
Well, and I want to ask you something. I probably should have asked you before we started the interview, but I know you well enough that you're going to give me a straight answer. Did I see where the range or the learning center is going to be closed for an evening because of a party? Because, you know, that's something that I've thought about with corporations and things like that. Or, you know, you guys have that ability. Is that something that somebody can do, or how's that work?
So on Sundays, we close at 8 p.m. Gives our staff some time to get home, spend some time with family. When it's the school year, our younger employees get a chance to get home, get a good night's rest before school. And it just kind of gives our staff a break after a long weekend. We closed an hour early last Sunday for our employee appreciation party. So we had the employees come out. I just wanted to say thanks for all that they've done to create this experience for all the golfers in the area and all the juniors in the area. So we set up some games in here. We had some putting and chipping contests. We gave away some prizes. courses. We had some good food and drinks, and we enjoyed one another. And it was my way of saying thanks to everybody.
Did Bobby G have a good time?
Of course he did. We had a great time. We all did. We were hitting some golf shots and playing games and hooting and hollering at one another. So, and that's the atmosphere that we created for any golfer. You can come here with friends and have some fun, play some games, some competitions, indoors, outdoors, on the golf course. It's really a lot of fun, and we're really enjoying it out here.
Another question that just came to me, with the U.S. Open being at Torrey Pines, is that on the simulator?
Torrey Pines is unfortunately not on TrackMan's simulator software, but I'll send this to him, and hopefully that'll entice him to
that'll get it done. One other thing I want to mention before some of the instruction, you were part of the inaugural Bob Sjogren Cup, and as somebody who knew Shogi as an amateur and as a pro, I know that meant a lot to you, and there's the winning team, the pros. If you look close, the only two guys in flip-flops are Gauss and Betz.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
I love it. I love it. But I know that was a lot of fun. It was something that back in the day was kind of a really solid thing that they're getting restarted, and had to be fun to be part of the first one.
Man, Bob Sjogren was and still is a legend. I mean, I love that man. I think every golfer in town knows him and has a great story about him and how he treated you. You know, he was the rules official in most of the events that we've all played in, and you know, he was always fair, and he knew the rules better than anybody. But you know, behind all that, he was just a great man. So it was great to play in his honor. It was great to see the Metropolitan Amateurs and the Gateway PGA Pros come together and compete against one another. It kind of makes it exciting for each year we're going to do this. And you know, it gives you a little bit of reason to want to play good in the section events, because you want to make that team, man. It was an absolute blast playing in that tournament. I didn't really help my team out all that much. I won 1 out of my 3 matches. That's because Skip played me, and he got the better of me yet again. But it was really a lot of fun. It was great competition, and the pros pulled it out in the singles match late the final round. So it was really a great comeback by the pros.
Absolutely good stuff. Is there, you know, we talked about the juniors earlier, Adam. Are camps running through the summer? Can somebody still get registered, or are they just too full?
Yeah, a lot of them are full. If you want to get in this month, it's going to be tough. Perhaps next month, you can check out on our website. All the signups are there. If it's full, just go ahead and give us a call. We can put you on a wait list that way. And then if we get enough on the wait list, we'll open up another camp. But it's just kind of tough. We have our space is a little limited right now, so we're undergoing another renovation, which is exciting. We have 2 new grass tees going on the outsides of the double deckers. So they're going to kind of follow the shape of the double decker. So they're going to kind of curve. So we're all hitting at the targets towards the center of the range. On the east tee, to the left side near the parking lot, we'll have a green, so we're going to have a nice short game area there. We've lengthened hole number 1, so the teeing ground and the short game area is going to kind of slide into number 1, which is a little lengthened, which is great. Then on the west side, we've got a big grass tee going in there. We're putting in this Tahoma Bermuda grass, which is great grass. It's going to recover quickly. It'll be the best grass tee available to the public in St. Louis, without a doubt. And then we have a 15,000 square foot short game area, a green that's 15,000 square feet. 3 bunkers, some long grass, some fairways, some zoysia grass, and all these different swales. So any and every shot can be practiced on our east and west tee, outdoors, off of some good quality grass, on some good quality greens. So just another way for us to elevate ourselves to being the best practice experience you can find in the Midwest.
Absolutely. In the region, there is no question about it. I'm going to start the first question on the instruction, because one of your customers, my son Jennings, has got a problem, and he's going to go see Blake here in a couple weeks.
All right.
He got into the game late, and I tried to get him early, but he's caught the bug now.
Right.
He tops the ball off the tee too often. And I know he's lifting up his head, and I know what he's doing wrong, but I can't give him anything that makes him stop. So help me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see his golf swing. I think I can help him a lot more or better, more effectively if I could see what he was doing. You know, a lot of times you're going to see an early extension of the right arm. You're going to see you're trying to throw that club, or you're letting go of your lag a little early. You know, that's when you see, you know, kind of the left arm chicken wing and the club head go upward very quickly. And that's going to be losing the lag early, or throwing the club early, releasing it early. You know, people don't realize that, you know, you get the chicken wing, oh, just stop chicken winging it. Well, the golf swing's a cause and effect. So, you know, if you're releasing your right hand under too early, that's what causes the chicken wing. So, you know, I think that that's a leading cause for people topping the golf ball, you know, especially those early in their learning the golf swing. But bring them out. We'll fix them up and get them on the right path.
No, he loves it too much, which is obviously, you know, exciting for me. And he comes down once in a while over to Sullivan and tees it up. So, nice. You know, I want to get him where he's playing his best. Now, we had Stan all the way from Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, wow.
And he's got grain issues. The folks here in our town don't understand, like you and I, and you from your days down on the Florida playing, you know, Trip Pro and mini tours. And sure. Grain can be a real factor on Bermuda grass, and really almost in a sense, grab your ball. Yep. So while a lot of folks watching us in St. Louis are going, what are they talking about grain? Stan in Florida is having trouble. He always seems to leave it short, he says. Okay. Into the grain.
Yeah, into the grain. I'm sure he is. I mean, it can definitely be the grain of the grass holding him from getting the right speeds. That's why you got to be aware of if you're hitting it in the grain or down grain. You know, the shiny is down grain, yep. The darker is into the grain. You know, your chip shots are going to grab a little more into the grain than hitting into the shiny stuff. You know, I don't think that there's really you know, a why is he hitting it short kind of thing. I mean, into the grain, you just got to give it a little bit more mustard. Just like when the grain is pointing to the right, identifying that's important, obviously. And, you know, you got to play a little bit more break. I mean, if it's an inside left 6-footer with the grain going left to right, you're probably going to have to put it on the edge.
Yeah.
You know, and it took me 3 years probably to figure it out down in Florida. It takes some time. It takes some practice. And really you got to pay attention to the grain, and you got to know it even when you're approaching your pitch shot into the green or your putt. You kind of got to know where you got to pay a little extra attention when you're down in Florida putting. It's kind of funny, quick story. When I came back from Florida after playing on the mini tours for 5 years, I came home and, you know, the first round I'm back in St. Louis and I'm marking my ball and I'm looking at the grains of the grass, like, which way is the grain going? Which way is the grain? Wait a minute. I'm in Missouri here. The grain doesn't matter. What are you doing? So, you know, I was conditioned to read the grain, and that was part of the process down there in Florida. So, so this gentleman down in Sarasota, just be aware of the grain and just give it a little mustard more up the hill. You know, lengthen your stroke a little bit and give it a little bit more speed.
Yeah, you know, and I wonder, as I think more about it, and I was thinking about that question, my dad had always told me, put a little more weight on your left foot. And I was always like, yeah, why? But, you know, it's like it's just a little more extension through maybe. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, maybe with the situation these days with keeping the cup in, maybe keep the cup in.
Yeah, I mean, bang it against the back of the cup. I mean, putting your weight forward a little bit definitely will help you get that left hand through. You know, you definitely don't want to get that ball skidding right away. It needs to start rolling. Yeah. You know, so having a nice forward press, which that leading left leg, having the weight on it, can turn into a forward shaft lean, which can lead into less skid. You know, if his ball's popping up in the air right off the putter, then it's going to come up short a lot, especially in the grain. So, good point. A little forward shaft lean or a little more weight to the left can definitely help get that ball rolling quicker, which will lessen the effects of that grain.
And a question on the other side, with the speed of the greens that people are going to watch today at Torrey Pines in the final round, Stephanie from Oakville wanted to know, what tip do you have for putting fast greens?
Well, first of all, there's a few things. When you're reading the greens, you got to read more. You know, you got to think the slower the ball is rolling over that hill, the more the hill is going to affect that ball.
Yep.
So, on slow greens, you hit the putt and the ball's rolling a lot faster to that target of yours. On slow greens, you're hitting it softer or the ball's rolling slower. So you got to read more break. That's the first point. So play a little more break, play the high side, try to keep the ball high, or higher into the read. But the main thing and the most important thing on fast greens is just maintaining a soft grip pressure throughout your stroke. You don't want to have any sort of hit or any sort of increase of speed at the golf ball. You want to make sure that your grip pressure stays very, very light. If you're gripping it as tight as you can, I call that a 10. And if you're barely holding it, I'd call that a 1. I want your grip pressure at like a 3 or a 4. But the biggest key to that is that we need that grip pressure to be a 3 or a 4 at address and during the entire stroke. Right? There cannot be an increase or a grab of the club a little bit more right at impact because you get a little scared of how fast that putt is. You got to just stay really nice and smooth, and that's easier to do when you have a consistent grip pressure.
Well, I want to congratulate you. I know you guys have been busy. Incredible to see the fact that you're not stopping and making more improvements, creating that new area, new hitting tees and areas like that. And I think more and more people, even though it's hot now in June, yeah. I also think people are going to start thinking as we move forward, hey, I've also got a place in November, December, and beyond. Yeah,
without a doubt. We have a very fun environment here, a very inviting, encouraging environment here. We got the 9-hole par 3. So if it's real hot, guess what? It takes you an hour and a half to play the golf course. So it's not going to take forever. You can come here, get a quick round in, come inside, cool down, watch the end of the tournament. And then if it's super hot, like maybe up into the hundreds or real indoor swims are great. It's nice to hit the range inside sometimes too. You get the great feedback from the TrackMan sims. You can bring some friends here, play some virtual golf when it's real hot too. So we got opportunities for everybody to come and enjoy. Everybody come here, get better, and everybody to introduce their kiddos to golf through some of our camps and clinics. So.
And you may get to meet the great Steve Cummins, the fantastic bartender.
That's correct.
Santa Claus.
He's the best. He's behind the bar serving drinks, and he does a great job.
Well, a happy Father's Day to your dad and everybody at Family Golf and Learning Center, and keep making people play better, brother.
Yeah, you got it, Jay. Thanks for having me.
That's the lesson tee for this week, and we'll see you next week right here on Claibs Online.